remember when I met you like 3 years ago, and I went out and I saw you guys I hooked up with you guys in DC.
Yeah.
You welcomed me onto the van. Now I'm welcoming you onto my van. Well, yours was a bus. So.
Right. You know, I ain't gonna front. I remember seeing one of your DMs, right?
Okay.
You DM me, and I just didn't reply back. I guess I was busy, whatever the case is. And then Blizzy replied back to you. And that's the whole thing. You came around us and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was fire though. You was very persistent, so I like that.
Was I just another one of those annoying fans that?
Nah, not at all. I didn't think you was a fan because you came about work. Then I was like at the time like, I don't like got that much stuff for me to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I mean that's a good thing you did it because now you're around.
Yeah, and I enjoy hanging out with you guys because it's not. Yeah, I think when I was on tour with you guys, and you do see those like wild people. I'm sure you've had
all the time.
We can get into that, but I want to introduce you first. Tell us a little about yourself, DJ Quiz, Mr. Quiz. Welcome to the van.
The van. Is that the name of this thing? The
got
van.
Nick's Vancast.
Vancast.
Nick's Vancast.
Nick's
yeah.
Vancast. All right.
So, tell us about yourself.
Man, long story short, or you want the short story version or the long version?
Whatever you want to give us.
Okay. DJ Quiz from the Bronx, New York. DJing for over, wow, man, close to 30 years. I'm aging myself right now, but yeah, worked in radio, DJ since I was a kid, like I said. Now I'm, DJing for G-Eazy, when we do shows and stuff like that, do a club thing. And, when somebody asks me about like, what do you do? Tell me about yourself. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just do what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you definitely have that radio voice.
Do I really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what got you into DJing? What brought you to this place?
DJing was, I saw the movie Juice, right? Have you seen it?
I have not, but Tupac's in it, right?
Tupac. I think it was Tupac's first movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really dating myself. 1991, 92, I saw the movie, and there was a cast in the movie called DJ GQ, right? It was played by Omar Epps. And long story short, I saw the movie. I was like, that's exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life.
And so is that how your name also came from it? Or
no, I used to tag quiz and graffiti when I was younger. I wasn't really good at it, so it just stuck with me though. You know what I mean? So through high school, through everything. So
what about that movie like really drew you into it?
I don't know. It's just the movie, the art, the excitement. It was just new, like something brand new. I just saw, and I was just like, man, this is amazing. I got to do this. And then like my brother saw it. My brother was the one that actually bought all the DJ equipment because he kind of wanted to do it too, but then he never had the time to do it. And then I'm here, 12 years old, 13. Always home. He's at work. He's at school. I'm in the bedroom, zigga, doing it my own. And then, like, no lie, it took myself, like, probably like 2 years. And I was okay. And then he noticed that. He's like, all right, it's yours.
Dang, that's crazy.
That's it.
Is he still trying to do that stuff? Or?
Nah, he's a cop in Tampa.
Okay.
completely opposite of what...
You stuck with it.
I stuck with it.
And
man.
you're here now.
Yeah. Had little detours in life, away from it. But but for the most part, I stuck with it and it paid off, I guess.
Well, absolutely. And we can also get to where we are now, but it really does take that level of continued focus to get to like a level of success. But what was the dream? When you started doing this stuff with your brother's equipment, did you, and you saw the movie where you're like, I'm going to be a DJ and I'm going to be in arenas, or what was the vision for you?
I always knew in the back of my mind, I always knew that I was going to get to a certain point with this thing. And as far as career and all, I always knew it. I always knew it was going to happen. I didn't know when it was going to happen, but, I just stuck with it. And I knew it was like, I just lived it and I spoke it and, dreamed it. And it finally came to fruition. That's all. Describe
that. Like, what does that feel like?
It's a cool feeling. It's like, I'm a modest guy, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm really very humble with it and everything. But, it's just, if you have a goal, right? And it's just like the normal motivational thing I would say is just like, if you have goals, just stick with it. You know what I mean? Like, I had like Shouts to DJ Enough, right? He was one of my big mentors. I worked with him. I interned with him. Legendary New York City DJ, world famous DJ for Biggie, if you know who Biggie is.
No, who's that? No. Wow.
You serious? You don't know who
No.
Biggie is? No. Yeah, so he told me, like, whenever you think it's about to end, that's whenever it starts. So I was like, there would be times where I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this no more. I'm falling out in love with it. I hate it. I'm not making money. I'm not growing. And as soon as I would like try to hang it up, something will open the door. A door would open. Another door would open. Another door would open. And then it kept going.
It's persistence.
Persistence, yeah.
And you are a really humble guy. And I think that also speaks to somebody who tries really hard and has to go through those trials to get to where they are.
Right.
So I used to work with the 49ers doing some video. And the nicest guys always were the players. And I always attributed that to somebody who struggles and really overcomes obstacles and barriers.
For sure.
And then they get to a place where they're performing at a really high level.
Yeah.
And so it was always the guys who wanted to be close to the players, always the execs and always the coaches who oftentimes had the biggest egos.
Right.
And so that's something that I really appreciated about being around you guys and performing. You guys tried it didn't just happen overnight.
No.
Because I think that does create ego because you expect it. But when you try hard, it humbles somebody.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like, it's not hard if you really think about it. And it's like, and there's really no complex science to it. It's just, bottom line, just stick to it. And by the way, you are a crazy dope video person, editing and all that, bro. I'm like, this dude got skills. I wish I should have replied back to the DM before Blizzy did.
Now he's the guy who found me.
Nah, but you really dope with it, bro.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
And it takes people like you who are exciting, and things that I'm passionate about covering is people who are passionate about doing what they do. It's storytelling.
Absolutely.
And I talked to my other friend who does filmmaking. It's telling stories about people who are passionate about what they do. Because if you're, just doing it half-heartedly, that's not very exciting. That's not going to inspire people. So how much of it, what you do and in your performing, do you get motivated by inspiring others? Or what really is the driving factor for you to want to continue on and improve?
I mean, skill-wise, there's always room for your craft and your technique and everything. There's always room for that, right? You can't just be a mediocre DJ and try to and live the rest of your life like that. I'm always practicing some, at the house and stuff like that. But there's always room for improvement. The thing that, I don't know. I mean, what I try to do is try to evolve, right, with this craft. Keep going, try to figure out new ways to stay relevant, or just continue to keep the work coming in or work going out. You know what I mean? That's really it, to be honest with you. So there's no plan B for me. I've been doing this since I was 12, so you know what I'm saying?
Right. But what about doing what you're doing and succeeding? Like, what about it makes you hungry for more? Because you guys do big stuff.
Right.
Is it about, hearing that crowd cheer? Is it about, hearing a DM from a fan going, wow, that was a really great show?
I mean, those are just the extra perks and stuff like that. I mean, that'll make anybody feel good, you know what I'm saying? But I like, right now for me is like, I had to keep going for my two little ones, my two kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, the way I look at things now, it changed like the past 4 years because of my kids now. So it's like, all right, I got to keep going for these two right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the motivation, to be honest with you.
How old are your kids?
4 and 1.
Are they little DJs too?
I think they will be. I hate to say it. I tell them, don't do it. It's such a tough thing. And I say to my wife, like, man, don't do it. It's such a tough, craft and business. But I have feelings in their blood. They're gonna, because when they come around the set, when I start playing around at home, they literally push me aside. They take over the set, and then two of them just going back and forth, just making ruckus, noise, screaming on the mic and everything. It's just.
Do you sample that and then put that in some tracks?
Not yet. I think I'm gonna use my oldest son when he gets a little older and his speech is a little clearer. I'm gonna have him do a drop, so I could just play it in like whatever. Yeah.
So you DJ for G-Eazy. Tell me about how that began and how that, because you helped discover, or you helped play him on the radio and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say I did my part. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most of the part is obviously on the artist, to be honest with you. But DJs, we are there for a reason too. So, I don't know, like, I just his stuff came across my plate maybe like 2010 or 12. And long story short, I was working at the radio station, Hot 97, interning. His stuff came across my plate. I emailed him. Went to his website, G-Eazy.com. I emailed him. I was like, yo, this is who I am. This is where I work. Holler at me when you guys are in New York City. And 4 hours later, his manager, Matt, emails me back. We will be in town next week. I'm going to connect you with whatever PR person. Cool. The following week, I brought him to Hot 97. And I'm preaching to these guys at the radio station, like, listen, this is the kid you got to keep your eyes on, all right? I don't get excited about a lot of things, but when you come across something that's so dope and you want to share it to everybody, like, yo, this is it. I was like, to everybody, I was like, enough. This is the kid. He's gonna blow, right? I took him to meet the music director, Carly Hustle. I was like, Carly, meet this kid, right? Or whatever. I just took him around the office and showed him whatever. And he did an interview with Enough at the time, and then sure enough, I was like 3 years later, he's like, yo, you want to go on the road and then we come back home? I was like, all right, let's do it.
And ever since. Getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that was like 2014 or 15. I started going on the road with them, and then that was it. So here we are.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You guys have done some crazy big stuff.
Yeah.
What's been the most satisfying part of that? I mean, having gone from, believing in somebody at that early stage to seeing how that really blossomed and took off. How gratifying is that for you? And then what's that experience been like?
It's a real dope feeling. I ain't gonna front. It's an amazing feeling. Seeing the world, obviously the crowd reaction, and just, I'm the older guy in the crew. But I tell you this, I learned a lot from these younger guys. Like that, when I told you about evolving, these guys helped me evolve. Because before I was touring, I was in the nightclubs, doing the regular parties. It was getting boring, right? Honestly, it was getting really boring. I was like, man, am I going to do this forever? So my wife at the time was like, you can get a full-time position at your job. But if this dude calls you and go on the road, you go on the road with this dude. And that's what I did. It was dope. I mean, it's seeing the world, like I said, and everything that comes with it is just...
What's been the coolest place that you guys have been able to tour?
Me personally, Hawaii, New Zealand, Australia.
All those tropical places.
No, I would say Norway.
Oh, okay.
Norway, beautiful. Alaska.
Dang, he was right. You guys never went home.
I just think it's dope as hell seeing the country. That's like some of the biggest perks for me. Is just like traveling. I'm a kid from the Bronx, right? I don't think I would be traveling the world like this. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, there's some dope.
Yeah. I mean, now you're in California. Of course, it's real smoky right now.
Yeah, right.
2020, last year.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Because you go from touring and you're going all over the world to now it's like you're not allowed to do that. Stop that.
I think 2020 was a blessing in disguise. Being on the road so much, I never got a chance to really enjoy home in 4 or 5 years, right? So it was a blessing in disguise. And plus, the first year of my oldest son, the first year of his life, I was gone 70% of the time. So I miss everything. I would say I missed some stuff, which I could have been there for. With my second child, he was born in 2019, December, and then 2020 happened, and then everything got shut down. So the whole entire year, I got to see my son just grow up. The stuff that I missed with his brother, I saw. So it was like a blessing in disguise, to be honest with you. And I ain't in front. I like being home. I like the road, but I like being home too.
It's exhausting out there.
It is.
I was with you guys for not that long, and after a week, I was like, how do you guys do this all the time?
It's being on the road. It's not for everybody. It really isn't. You got to put yourself in this mindset of all right, you're sacrificing personal time, family time. You're putting your friends aside. You're putting everything aside for your career, right? So it's like, it could be mentally draining, but you got to, put yourself in that mindset all right, this is You know, this is what you want to do. You have to put yourself in it. You got to do it. There's no crying about it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to do it, there's somebody else that's going to do it, take your position instead. And then you're screwed, right?
It's your job.
It's your job.
And it was your dream too.
Right.
And going all over the world sure beats a commute to the office. And that's what I'm starting to think about right now. I'm going to the office every day. It's only like a 10-minute drive. And I'm like, I see the same thing, same freeway every day.
Right.
And that gets old. 4 walls in a cubicle. It's
right.
like, man. And then here you are. And your office is different every day.
No, listen, it's like traveling a lot. It wears and tears on my body. Hanging from, I'm getting older. It's whatever. Like I said, now I could be home, right? I enjoy my time at home now. So, but if you let's be honest, like if you love what you do, going to the office shouldn't be dreadful. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I am creating videos. I do love it, but I mean, it's different. You always want what you don't have, I guess.
True.
To some extent.
True. Yeah, there's some vanity in that.
Yeah, but you appreciate what you're doing too. Like
right.
you said, someone else would gladly take your place.
Right.
So you've been on the road, on and off for many, many years.
Yeah.
In some amazing places.
Mm-hmm.
Probably had some wild times.
My crazy thing is keeping up with these guys, to be honest with you. Like, I came around, I was like, 33? And everybody was in their early 20s. So I'm like, all right.
Age.
I was worried about just keeping up with these guys, to be honest with you. I'm like, these motherfuckers party, man. Like, like the first day I got on like rehearsal and stuff like that, I literally spent the first day sleeping because I was from traveling, carrying equipment. I was like, I can't, after rehearsal, I just slept. These guys got up, went out, partied. I was like, and then a friend of mine was like, his name Benner was like, yo, dude, you have to go out, right? You got to like be a part of the team if you want to work. I was like, yeah, no, true. But it's like between the flights and all that stuff, these guys just kept going and going. And like, I had to like prepare myself and have this mindset of like, all right, we're going to party tonight. We're going to party tonight. We're going to party tonight. And it kept going and going. And don't get me wrong, it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
Those club scenes can be pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah, the fans are the coolest part of the things, man. These people, these fans that I came across, I mean, that just in general, man, they're so dope. They're so morally, like, it fulfills you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, man. Like, they're so dope, man. They cheer you on, and like, it's a good feeling.
If you think like a professional athlete, they go to like a visiting city, and you got tons of people hoping you fail, hoping you strike out at the plate. And then you guys go into arena and everybody is there to see you and wanting you to succeed.
Man, I'm just the guy behind the guy, right?
Hey, but you're all up there. It's a team effort.
No, for sure, 100%.
I mean, it's got to be crazy because I've seen like somewhat of your view up there, shooting from behind the stage and looking out. I mean, what's the biggest show that you guys have done?
I think it was a show in San Francisco. It was like 80,000 people.
Ooh.
It was I forgot the name of the festival. It was like 70 to 80,000 people. Like, you could literally look and just see a sea of people, and it didn't end. You kept looking towards the back and it didn't end.
Not anymore right now, at least. That's wild.
Yeah.
And I've seen those similar, not 80,000 people, but those views. How does that feel when you walk out on stage?
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I try not to get nervous. I mean, of course you'll get nervous here and there, but like, for the most part, like it's dope. Another person asked me, like, you don't get nervous in front of? I was like, yeah, I get nervous all the time, right? The nervousness makes you like enjoy what you're doing, right? If you're not excited or nervous, then it's like you're gonna get bored of it.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, has it become more manageable from the first time seeing thousands of people to now? It's still exciting, but it's how to manage it.
Yeah, I know how to manage. Yeah, but it's a real feeling though.
What was that first time that you really realized that? Was it like a moment or like an event where you're like, oh, we made it?
Yeah, I think when it's crazy. G and his people called me. I wasn't really working with them yet. We performed at was there some late night show on Seth Meyers or something like that? Oh. I was like, man, all right, cool. They just called me to do Seth Meyers with them. Like, I'm just the homie from New York. And I was like, all right, I mean, this is pretty dope, right? From that point on, I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. It wasn't much. It was like, 5 minutes on air, but it was like We're on like national TV.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, yeah, this kid is on his way. Like, he's here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're on national TV, Seth Meyers. And this is before Fallon and Kimmel and then all these other shows and iHeart and all that stuff. Like, this kid is here. So then I was like, all right, hopefully, hopes you call me for the next gig or something. And sure enough, he did. I mean, yeah.
From watching you guys interact, it really does feel like a total team.
It gets better. I mean, let's be honest, it has definitely gotten better. I mean, at first, it's, you know, I'm the new guy. Their core been around since the beginning, way before me. So, you know, like I said, I was more there to adapt and learn. Yeah. You know, get on their page. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's gotten better. I mean, when you work with somebody, and it's all about chemistry. Like Blizzy and G's chemistry is on stage is there. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. It's connected. So my whole part was coming in. I got to fit into that. And I guess for his management, it's like, could Quiz really mesh with this dynamic? And thank God it did.
Yeah, I mean, I totally know what you mean, because when I went out and was working and doing some video stuff for Blizzy, it was like, that was like nothing I'd ever seen before or experienced. Like, I'd been to, you know, some shows and stuff, but being in that atmosphere, it's like, I got to adapt quick. Yeah. I mean, but you guys, there was no hazing or anything. You guys really brought me along, and you guys were really kind, so I don't know. You guys were really accommodating to me, this little kid from Santa Cruz.
We didn't do any crazy thing like that. I mean, the hazing, I don't know what they did, but I mean, for me, I'm the older guy, like, whatever.
Yeah. That's amazing, though. So what would you tell to somebody who watches what you do and wants to do it too?
All right, as far as DJing, right? The game has completely changed and is different from the time that I started. So if you want to be a DJ, cool. You have to do a lot more than just DJing now. Back in the days, it was just, that's all you did, right? Now with social media and everything that's involved in connecting with social, you know, you got to do a lot more. You got to be a personality. You got to be this. You got to be that. You got to all that and above. So with DJing, cool. Just stay with it, and then learn to use everything that's around you, all your resources, and put it into play. Because if not, you'll get overlooked. You know what I'm saying?
And again, it goes back to that continued focus, because you guys can put out dope stuff, but someone else is gonna do something cool the next week, and you gotta like continue. Right. You get left behind. Right. What's the process like for you to move forward? You put out like a great track. How immediately do you have to start thinking about, all right, on to the next? How long do you celebrate for?
You know, celebrate your wins, but you know, if you got a hit record now, you got to work on your next one immediately. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no stopping. There's no like, that's the way I look at things. Like, all right, I got this one club, you know, I played it, nice room, rocked it. What's the next one? I'm thinking about the next booking. I'm thinking about the next booking. I got to keep going and going and going. There's no pause. There's no breaks, right? The only time you stop is when you're done with it.
Well, you definitely have that work ethic. And with a work ethic like that, it doesn't slow down.
It doesn't. But there's sometimes for you to... slowing down is a good thing, right?
Just like last year.
Right. Slowing down is a good thing. Stopping is a bad thing. Slow down is a good thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on right now? You're on a tour? Or...
Not necessarily a tour. It's like it's like a club run, you know, outside of, you know, DJing for this guy. You know, I still do clubs all over the country and all over the world. So I got a few dates before I jump back on the road with this dude. So, you know, just little nightclub runs, you know, just me making some money, having some fun.
It's hectic for you right now. So you're in Sacramento right now. Yeah. It's super smoky. Yeah. I just went on a run before we did this. Yeah. Felt like I was smoking cigarettes. I was like, ugh.
So is it like, I mean, I'm from the East Coast. Yeah. I mean, I see this in the news all the time, but to hear from somebody like that lives out here in the Northwest, is it like this every single time during this year?
It feels like deja vu from a year ago. Yeah. Really? My parents were evacuated in the fire in the Bay Area last year. So, I mean... Wow. It's like nearly every year. The last 2 years have been particularly bad. And last year, I mean, my parents were evacuated, so it was really bad. And I know a lot of people who lost their homes, and it was really sad. You all don't have fires out in New York?
Garbage can fires. I mean, not like this. I mean, we have storms and snowstorms, like,
Oh, it gets
blizzards
there
and
too.
yeah. But not like, the Midwest and, Wisconsin and shit. But, we get pretty hit hard.
When I was with you guys on the East Coast, that was the first time I'd ever been to the East Coast at all, and to New York.
And that was a snowstorm too, right?
I almost got stuck. Yeah.
Yes.
I got stuck. I had to bus back to DC, and then fly out of New Jersey. And I was like, I
remember you was a little worried. It's like, am I gonna make it back home? And Blizzy's like, yo, bro, you'll make it back home.
Oh man, Blizzy, he's always confident, way more confident than me. I think it just becomes with experience. Last time I was with you guys, we were at in San Jose at Shoreline.
Yeah.
And we were walking past security, and Blizzy's just strutting past, and then I'm just looking all nervous, and they're like, "Hey, who are you?" Blizzy like, "Come on, get over here. You gotta walk like you're supposed to be here." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, man. You gotta be a part of it.
But again, I want to come back to New York because all I did that day, we were there for one day. I went on a run, a big time runner, and I ran to Times Square. And you got to run slow because there were so many people. You're like weaving in and out of people, but it's awesome there too. Beautiful place.
I mean, I'm over New York. I mean, I live in the suburbs of New York, so it's like,
okay.
if I'll go to the city if I have to go to the city. If not, I'm staying my ass up top at home. So I was like, because the city could be too much, man. Like, it's a lot of traffic, a lot of people. There are good restaurants out there. You go down there and eat and stuff like that, but it's busy down there, man. That's all.
New York's a really interesting place because you have the city and you have the suburbs, but there's like some really cool like mountainous terrain as well, right?
If you go
upstate,
if you go like New York City is like this small compared to New York State, right?
Okay,
but you know what I mean, like
California kid over here.
Then I was just saying, California's ginormous.
That's true.
Pause. Like from the whole entire coast, the West Coast is like what was two other states up top, Portland or was it Oregon and Washington?
Yeah,
right?
Oregon, Washington.
Yeah. So, I mean, New York City connects to the Midwest, the Great Lakes. It's a huge place, but I still want to like tour New York State. I still haven't done that, living in New York for my entire life.
Yeah.
The furthest I went was like Albany and Syracuse, right? But then those like just spotted areas of New York. But I haven't really gone to the other towns and counties and stuff like that. And there's mountain and trails and terrains, and I'm not a really outdoor person, right? I hate the outdoors, to be honest with you. But it's good to see. It's dope to see, you know what I mean? So
could you use this vehicle for camping? This is like glamping, right?
Glamping?
You're not sleeping in the dirt. Got a queen size bed right here.
My man, I could do this. Right? I don't know about the running water situation, but
I got some tanks under the sink.
That's fire.
You gotta replace it yourself though.
Yeah.
And then I won't talk about the bathroom situation on there.
I did a tour outside of working for this kid, and we would stop at these truck stops, right? That you see in the TVs and shows and movies, and then those truck stops are so dope, bro. You have like the cleanest bathrooms ever. You would think like stopping at a service area or rest area, and like the toilets or whatever is just like ugh. And I came with that mentality thinking that it would be like that. No. These truck stops on like the middle of nowhere are the cleanest and comfiest things ever. Like you get a number, you go in, do your thing, shower, it's perfect. Give you towels and all that.
I would not want to be a trucker though, I'll tell you.
No, I don't want to be a trucker either.
16 hours a day, but they were clean?
Super
Where
clean.
was that?
All over.
Oh.
All over.
Okay.
They were all nice and clean. They're those if anybody goes on the road, right, stop into one of those truck stops or like those service in the middle of nowhere, right? Clean as hell. Amazing. You can find stuff in there, man.
I've only been to some of the ones in California. They have like some of the trinkets and stuff and t-shirts, like redneck t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like some interesting places.
Yeah,
for sure. So you talked about like Hawaii and some of those places you like touring. If you weren't living in New York, where would you want to live?
I like San Diego. I like Florida. I like Texas. Before I had kids, me and my wife were thinking about moving to San Francisco. We was dead on like, all right, we could probably do this. And then we had kids. Then we stayed in New York.
Well, that's cool. I want to go back, of course.
Yeah.
San Francisco. If I think New York's cold, I also think San Francisco's cold. So I definitely couldn't do New York.
Yeah. What New Yorkers do is like when they retire, they go to Florida. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
It's way too hot there.
I love it. I like the heat, to be honest with you.
That's true. Good thing we don't have AC in here right now. But, if you weren't DJing, what would you want to do?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'd probably be in trouble. I ain't gonna front the way I was growing up. But if I wasn't DJing, I don't know. I was always before I was cutting hair. I was a barber for quite some times, and for like a few years, like 3-4 years of my life, I was cutting hair. I could definitely doing something with my hands. To be honest with you. You know what I mean?
You do it now, too.
I know, right?
You gotta have some coordination, too, right? When you're DJing.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know, I sent you that video last night of that guy with the air horn.
Like I said, the game is different. The game's changed as far as DJing.
Okay, that wasn't good, though.
It definitely wasn't, but...
Can a guy like that make it? Or is that like, do you have to be born with some innate sense of rhythm? Or can you go from being completely tone deaf to being a
DJ? You could... I hate to say it, but you don't. In order to be a good DJ, you should have rhythm, right? You should know at least how to two-step or do a nice little dance, right? That's it. In order to be a DJ, because it means you got rhythm, you got some type of taste. Do you need talent? Not at all. This day and age, not at all.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it.
I'm sure the equipment has probably gotten more accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. Because music is kind of free if you really think about it. Like people downloading left and right. If you want to pay for something, you could pay for something. But the technology made everybody. It was a lifesaver and a game killer. So it's like, there's the sync button, so you don't have to learn how to mix anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I feel that, and that's similar with video because like when I was in high school, I mean, it was probably further along than people before me, but we were uploading the tape onto a digital format. It was going from analog to digital.
Right.
And now these kids are growing up with iPads glued to their faces.
It's crazy.
Wow. I'm going to have some keeping up to do. All these kids on TikTok doing like crazy effects and stuff.
That's what I mean. But that's the point, like I was saying before. You have to, like, if you love something you do, you got to keep, evolving with it. If you don't evolve, you're going to get left back behind, bro.
Absolutely. I know you got a gig tonight. Where can people find your stuff and follow along with what you're doing?
Everything on IG, man. Everything at DJ Quiz, Twitter, right there, man. I don't post as much on Instagram. I don't know. I feel like it's played out to me. That's just me. Yeah. I know it's the most powerful tool. I should be talking a lot more on my gram, but I don't.
Yeah.
Twitter, I could. The only time I use Twitter is when I'm complaining about something.
Like, you like Twitter? I'm not on Twitter.
I just use it to complain. That's all it is. Like I was waiting on hold for 2 hours to change or to cancel a flight. Thanks, Delta. But
now I'm not going to get Delta as a sponsor.
It's a wrap for you now, buddy.
Well, next time you come on, you can just make it a rip session on all the things that are.
Oh man, I'm gonna complain through you now, bro.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on. You've always been such a cool guy, really nice, and it's just been fun watching you guys succeed. Yeah. Whenever I'm telling people about like some stuff that I've did with you, I'm like, this guy Quiz, this guy, you're the first person I met on that bus. I'm like, this guy is the nicest. So again, thanks for that. Man. And
I'm a regular guy, Nick, man.
You gave G a chance, put him on the radio. You're giving Nick's Vancast a chance. Episode number 2. So.
Oh, that's fire, man. I can't be number 1, but it's all good. Number 2 it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm better at it now too. Yeah. So all right.
Good. But I think you're doing great. I think this is smooth, man. I like this, man.
Thanks. I was a little nervous about the audio thing because you're an audio master, and I'm like,
no, you did it right. You got the little board there. You good.
Okay, cool.
Good.
I might hit you up for some tips, but
I think you got it, man. But you hit me up anytime, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks, and have a great show tonight. And keep up the good work.
Yeah, man. This is tight.
I feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game, looking down at the rack.